Hey, hey, what's up, people? This is Verdal Khaliq. I'm here to talk about the recap what happened last Monday Night Raw. In case you didn't know, I did shave, but sorry if I dressed it. But here the night started off with the Nexus, in the ring with no theme song. And it started off with how Wade Barrett addressed, how we made an impact on The Undertaker, who was the Phenom, and how Wade Barrett nailed his finishing move. Justin Gabriel does his, 450. So you could see, like, how they edit out half the part where Kane comes in and helps, and you can see how Wade Barrett nails his finishing move. I gotta say, Wade Barrett's finishing move was very impactful, and the Nexus are pretty solid. And then you can see Justin Gabriel pretty much nailing his 450 finishing move. And you gotta say, that was pretty impactful from Justin Gabriel. And it was Kane mostly involved, but they didn't show Kane. They didn't say, they're usually arrogant, So they say, they nailed out The Undertaker, and we're powerful without, so that whole shenanigan. So, anyway, David Otunga laughed on how The Undertaker's not the Dead Man anymore. He's nothing but a phenom. And how they trimmed the fat, got rid of Darian. Same thing with Michael Tarver talk, how he got rid of The Undertaker. Heath Slater gets arrogant, saying, he pinned Sheamus, the WWE champion, and how Justin Gabriel a number of times nailed his 450 on John Cena. So Justin Gabriel rarely talks, and that's the best thing about him. All he does is take action. And so, that's what happened. And then Wade Barrett comes out, and then he confronts Randy Orton. Randy Orton confronts Wade Barrett about, how Wade Barrett nailed his finishing move to be at the top. And I gotta say, I was pretty impressed with that match, especially at the end. So, they get the anonymous general manager, comes out and announces that, each member of the Nexus will get a match. Will be the same condition as last week, I think a week before the 900 episode. And pretty much, they said if the Nexus interfered, there will be consequences. So, they had some individual matches. Justin Gabriel against John Cena, Wade Barrett against Randy Orton. So, those are the two members of the Nexus who got their match. So, lucky enough that came around. So, the match started off with Chris Jericho, walking in the ring, and then he was about to go in. And so apparently, if Chris Jericho, the condition was for the GM, if Chris Jericho loses this match, he will not be in the six-pack challenge because of what he did last week was a disgrace. So they weren't pretty impressed with that. So the match started off with halfway through the match with John Morrison. His opponent was John Morrison. Chris Jericho gets the upper hand halfway through the match. And then eventually, sooner than later, Chris Jericho was nailing the walls of Jericho. John Morrison was pretty much luckily enough to get to the ropes. You could see him there. He escaped that. And then John Morrison countered, and then he nails his frog splash for the pin. And yes, John Morrison does get the win. And Chris Jericho's out of the six-pack challenge pretty much. And I was pretty surprised at that. I thought Jericho was going to win and stay in the six-pack challenge, and Jericho's contract was expiring. So I don't know what's going to be next for him. I'm hoping he finds a way to get back in the six-pack challenge. Hopefully makes a further impact there. So I'll see what's going to happen next week, or how's he going to address it. So, anyways, a little bit after that, there was Melina against Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox comes out making her address that, now the champion is going to be different because I will be having the title in my hand. And I will not be coming as a lumberjill, but I'll be coming as a champion, and Melina will be a lumberjill. So the match started off with Alicia, trying to walk out the match. Pretty much she tried to walk out the match, and you can see here she walks out the match. Melina grabs her back in, and then apparently from here on there, you can see Melina grabs her in, and then here on there, Melina gets the upper hand. Mostly through the match, Alicia gets somewhat the upper hand. Alicia Fox kicks out. She stays in this, but luckily enough, you can see her that she nails her finishing move, an alternate finishing move for the victory. You can see it right here. But she does a lot of screaming. That's pretty weird of her, especially as a face. She does this primal scream thing, and that's pretty hilarious, here and there. So furthermore, after that, The Miz comes out, has this mysterious thing behind the curtain. Josh Matthews was odd. It was like, why was Josh hanging out with The Miz? That's what I heard on one of the chats, and it was pretty weird. And then Josh Matthews tries to see behind. The Miz says, no, you cannot see it. Don't touch it. Just get away from me. So, that's what happened. So, later that night, The Miz, addressed, well, there was a small segment with Edge and Ryder saying, oh, they will get the match. Could we get the match with Edge and Zack Ryder? But I don't think so that's what happened. If he doesn't get his wish, then he's going to smash the computer a million pieces. Luckily enough, that didn't happen. There was another segment after that, and it was Teddy DiBiase chatting with, some girl that he says he loves spending time with. He says, oh, I love you, Mom. And that part was just hilarious. You gotta hear it one more time. This is fun.
I'll call you back, Mom.
And then Marie says she has a letter saying I love you, and it wasn't from, it wasn't for you, or it wasn't from you, and then it's like somebody's playing around. So it turned out Maurice was speaking French just to scare him off. And apparently that's what happened. So with Justin Gabriel getting prepared for his match, that's what happened. Justin Gabriel was getting the upper hand halfway through the match. And you gotta say, he's always very impressive. He's been pretty impressive. He could be a future Intercontinental or United States champion. You could see his sunset flip. He was pretty impressive. But then Justin Gabriel got the upper hand. Eventually, soon at the end, John Cena, nails his attitude adjustment off the second rope. Nails it down, and 1, 2, 3. And John Cena gains the victory. I was pretty much impressed. So, apparently further, they showed the preview of Legendary, and it was exclusive sneak peek. So there's The Miz. The Miz in presence, and you can see him here that he was addressing, to the universe, like how he was, from not taken seriously to now he was, became a big impact ever since Tough Enough. I really liked him at Tough Enough. He was pretty impressive, but I didn't know he was from the real world. You could see him when he was a lot younger. You could see him today. Now he's like almost 30 years old. So yeah, made the address. He shows his magazine cover to everyone. How he came to the top with the Money in the Bank United States champion. Danny Bryan comes out, confronts him, says, oh, yeah, he was almost the same as The Miz. The Miz never liked him. He thinks he was never going to climb to the rankings. So apparently Daniel Bryan... So apparently Daniel Bryan challenged him to Night of Champions. The Miz somehow accepts. Alex Riley tries to come out to attack him, but somehow that backfires. Apparently, then Alex Riley taps out to Daniel Bryan's powerful submission. So apparently that came through. But here's how it went about with Jericho. Edge gets his match, and it wasn't Zack Ryder. It was the Great Khali. So mostly Edge walks out halfway through the match. He continues to compete. He tries to win by countout. Eventually nails a cheap shot. He walks in. But the anonymous general manager gets the message again that no, we don't like you winning through countout. That was cheap and that was foul. So you're going to win him through over the top. So Edge, Great Khali was getting the upper hand halfway through the over the top. He gets over the ring. Hilariously, that was a botch as he walks over the top rope. That's what I heard. But gets the upper hand. But then somehow you can see him walk over the end. And somehow you can see Edge pull him over, and that helps him get the upper hand. So Edge, gets his win there. And I gotta say, all his wins were hilarious. Oh, he pulls his leg, and he was just pulling his leg. Get it? So that was a pretty hilarious match, and it was funny. So down to the serious business. It was Wade Barrett against Randy Orton. Wade Barrett was getting the upper hand mostly through the match, and especially with John Cena, Sheamus, and I think Edge. The whole trio was there joining him ringside, and pretty much Wade Barrett has the upper hand. The match was going pretty well, good flow. Randy Orton tries to, get the upper hand halfway through the match, and then you could see there was some good matches. And then oddly, there was a new song. Who the wrestler was? Darren Young comes out and confronts Wade Barrett, saying, "Yeah, you should have kicked me out of the Nexus. I can prove why I'm the missing link, not the weakest link." So he distracts Wade Barrett. Luckily enough, Randy Orton came around. He was distracted. Randy Orton revives. He grabs him, nails the RKO, and then Darren Young tries to thought he was gonna get a thank you. Luckily enough, he RKO's Darren Young. You can see how hilarious this was. He RKO's Darren Young, and then he RKO's Edge. And then he RKO'd Sheamus, but the only person he didn't RKO was John Cena. And I have to say, pretty much, You can see him later on at the end. It was John Cena and Randy Orton face to face. So we're gonna see how this match comes about. Night of Champions. I think it would be a disqualification, and I don't know how that would come around, but for the most part, it would be a disqualification, and then it would just be a brawl. But hopefully, it'd be no disqualification, and we can get a winner before the Night of Champions, and that's what I pretty much wanted to see. So hopefully that comes around soon. So that's my thoughts for this WWE thing, but hopefully there was also a segment with Jericho and John Morrison chatting, and then John Morrison says, "Yeah, we all have our bad days, but Dory, a good day will come around." I wish I could show you a little segment, and yeah, that's what pretty much happened. So, Sir Dog Police, man, peace out.